Ford has taken the name for one of the most iconic vehicles in history and slapped it on the back of a 5-seater family SUV. And the crazy part is, it's an EV. That's right, you guys. The Mach-E, Ford's latest SUV powered by electricity and sporting a Mustang badge. Now, are we up in arms about it? Or could this be one of the best EVs on the market and something that's actually really exciting to drive? Well, let's find out.
Hey everybody, I'm Desola from Edmunds. At Edmunds, we painstakingly test and review hundreds of cars, trucks, and SUVs every single year, while CarMax expertly appraises, buys, and sells thousands and thousands of them. So we thought, wait a minute, why don't we combine our car testing knowledge with CarMax's experience to help you find your next car?
The CarMax average used car price of a Mach-E is roughly $57,000. And whatever your opinion on the name of the Mustang Mach-E is, there are some things about it that you just can't deny. It's stylish, it has all sorts of high-end materials on the inside, especially on the higher trim levels, and it's really fun to drive. But can an all-electric SUV really live up to the legacy of the Mustang? I mean, come on. We've got the GT, Boss 302, Shelby, GT350, GT500. Those are some heavy hitters. So there are a few different versions of the Mustang Mach-E. So let's talk about what we've got here before we get into all of the details. This one is the base trim level, and it's called Select. And even though it's at the bottom of the Mach-E ladder, it is still packed with great features. It's got this huge 15.5-inch center screen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard, and up to 230 miles of EPA estimated range at full charge. With the base powertrain in the Select model, you only get 266 horsepower and 317 pounds-feet of torque, which is alright, but it's not necessarily sporty. In our Edmunds testing, we found the acceleration to be impressive, but not necessarily thrilling. The great thing is the Mach-E handles well like you'd expect from any sporty SUV. It changes direction quickly, and there's not lots of body roll, which is always a great thing. In addition, Ford's one-pedal driving is smooth and easy to operate. Now, one-pedal driving uses an EV's regen brakes to slowly bring the vehicle to a stop. So depending on your driving style, you may not have to use the brakes as much in stop-and-go traffic, which is a big plus in our book. So to make it simpler, you press on the accelerator as usual, but when you lift your foot off of it, the car slowly brakes by itself. Now, of course, you can press the brake yourself to make the car brake faster. Now, when I first started testing this, I gotta admit, I found it to be a little weird, but I got used to it quickly, and now I kinda like it. I got so used to it that I got into my personal car and expected it to brake by itself. Now, let's say I've realized real quick that it didn't. The Mach-E isn't just fun to drive, it's cozy too. Big and small bumps are smoothed out, and all of the seats are comfortable, even for those long rides. And of course, inside is quiet too, since there's no engine noise. The cabin's well insulated from wind and road noise, but you may hear the occasional weird noise when you're making turns and things like that. It's an EV thing. Now, for those of you who can't justify buying a Mustang with no engine purr, don't worry about it because Ford has your answer. Based on your driving mode, and you get 3 in here, artificial engine noises can pipe through the speakers. I mean, look, it's better than making car noises with your mouth, but just barely. But if you're gonna use it, go with the unbridled mode because it's the loudest. When it comes to the driving position, it isn't really our favorite. There's not a lot of adjustability in the driver's seat, but if you're average height, you should be okay. But if you're tall like me, expect to have to reach out pretty far because the steering wheel doesn't telescope that much. While we're on the subject of the interior, it feels really nice in here. Like really nice. There's a ton of soft surfaces and it just looks cool. Higher trim levels like the Premium, the GT, and the GT Performance add elegant touches, but honestly, all the trim levels, including this base Select, keep up with the luxury feel of Tesla, Polestar, and Audi. The hatchback design means that there's lots of space for your stuff, especially when you fold down the seats. And if there's not enough space back there, guess what? There's a frunk too, and there's a drain, so it can hold your wet or muddy gear and be hosed out easily, which is great for the adventurous types. Small item storage is good too. There's lots of places for water bottles, smartphones, wallets, really whatever's in your pockets. In addition to cargo space, there are 3 latch positions for securing child seats, but there's realistically only space for 2 at the same time. Now for 2021 Mach-E models, there are a lot of different power levels to choose from, and the base model has an okay amount of power, but it's nothing crazy. Rear-wheel drive comes standard, but you can get all-wheel drive also, and with that, you get an additional electric motor and extra power. In our Edmunds testing, a standard range model with rear-wheel drive went from 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. So it's quick, but it's not lightning fast. Now you can go with a more powerful model, and that number drops to 5.8 seconds. But if you want the fastest Mach-E possible, go with the GT Performance. It does 0 to 60 in just 3.8 seconds. Now that's fast. While the Mach-E's numbers aren't as impressive as some of its rivals like the Tesla Model Y Performance, this is still a quick SUV by any other standard, and it's totally respectable. So we know what the Mach-E is like to drive, and we know that it's pretty plush on the inside too, but what do we think of the styling? Well, that's subjective. But when Ford announced that they were building an electric Mustang SUV, most industry people scoffed at their idea. But somehow, some way, the designers managed to pull it off. And the Mach-E not only resembles a Mustang, but it looks pretty dang good too, okay, I gotta say. So job well done. And now the big question for any EV, range. How far can your electric Mustang go? Short answer is, it depends. The same way fuel economy works with gas-powered cars, it's all about the way you drive, the kinds of roads you're driving on, and the kind of weather you're driving in. So at full charge, the EPA range estimates for the 2021 Mach-E, depending on trim level, go from 211 miles all the way up to 305 miles. For some context, those are pretty average numbers for the class, and they don't blow us away, but they're also not disappointing. Thankfully though, the Mach-E's that we've tested all outperformed their range estimates during our Edmunds EV range test. If you want to learn more about that, check out our Edmunds video. Comfortable, quiet, powerful, and good to look at. I mean, it's hard to want much more for your next ride. Oh, and that whole thing about the Mustang name, who cares? To hell with your puritanical ways. You'll just end up calling it the Mach-E most of the time anyway. So here at Edmunds, we are huge fans of the Mach-E. It sits at or near the top of its segment in several categories. And if you're in the market for a new SUV, not just an EV one, we definitely think that it's worth a closer look. I mean, look at these lights, come on. So let us know what you think about the Mach-E in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about the Mustang, make sure to click the link down below for an in-depth article. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.